Hi everybody, my name is Frank, and this is the final video on how to paint the face. If you were watching the other videos that I did, step 1, 2, and 3, this is the fourth and final step that I'm going to be doing here. And if you need to brush up on how to draw a face, I also did this book, The Lost Art of How to Draw Fantasy Faces. And it shows you basic ways of drawing a face. It's just a very basic book for beginners. Great if you're just starting out. There it is. And also, I wanted to show you the paper that I used for this. And I'm using a mixed media paper for watercolor, and it's good for pen and pencil and acrylic. But it's a 98-pound paper, and I like it because mixed media. It's a smooth paper. I like it better than the actual watercolor paper because watercolor paper has too much texture on it for the way that I like to use it, and this one works a lot better for me. Okay, I'm going to finish this off by doing the lips. And I just wanted to show you sort of a little, I guess, a trick or a technique that I have for doing the lips. And I do these in brown. I start the underpainting, actually, is what it is. And I'll paint it in brown. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the reddish pinkish color. I'll put that over this color, and what that's going to do is it's going to make it'll make the color a bit more vibrant. It'll just add a more tonal effect to it. I mean, it'll still keep the same tone, it'll still be the same color, but it'll just make it more vibrant, and I think a bit more colorful. So I'm just doing like the shaded parts of the lip, and remember that the part that you leave completely white is going to pick up the pure color when you do this. So just painting it out here. Basically what I'm doing is I'm sort of outlining it and then going in and darkening the areas of the lip that are the darkest parts. And if you don't want them to be too dark, then don't use a brown color that's too dark. Use a light wash. Use it as a light wash when you do this, if you want a lighter color, not so dark. And another thing that I do, since she has her mouth open and she's showing her front teeth, I always will use like a gray wash and just go right over the teeth. Go over all of them, because her teeth are shadowed by her lips. So they're not going to be completely white, they're going to be a darker shade of white. And what I do for that, I just use my gray tone right here. Okay, and I think we're almost ready to put the actual color of the lip here. Let's just do a little bit more brown tone right here. Just very little here. Because this is, there's more shade on this side of the face than on this side. So always remember, when you're doing your drawing, where your light's coming from. Okay. Now that'll be, that color should be dried by now because it dries so fast. And then we're going to go ahead and do the overcolor. The layer, this is a red watercolor, and I'm going to put it on her. Try to do it as light as I can. Remember to leave the little white areas there to indicate the shiny part of her lip, which should be like on the upper part of it, right there. And then for the bottom. Now the bottom lip always should be like the darkest part, with the little bit of a highlight right there. And adding a little bit more color up here. And you can see how it makes the color look really kind of deep. And if I wanted to use even more color, I could do that. But I like it because it makes the color look deep without having to do a whole lot of layer work. And then, of course, you can always go deeper, use more color if you want, and whatever color you want to use there. So I'm just basically, what I'm going to do next is add a little bit more of the darker brown right here, using a very lightly right here, a layer, using a very light layer of paint here, because you want to make it dark. And always test out your tones before you actually apply them on, which I have a paper right here. I have this paper right here, which I always test out my tones just before I apply them to make sure it's not too, that the paintbrush hasn't picked up too much paint, or it's not going on there too thick. Okay, and then I'm going to finish this off by adding a very light color of skin tone of it's the burnt sienna skin tone that I used at the beginning. A very light layer. Very light where you can't even really see it. Okay, so this painting is all done in watercolor and ink wash tones. And I like that effect. Gives it a very nice watercolor effect. You can still see all the brush strokes that are in there. I used to do these paintings in digital. I worked a lot in digital, but digital painting is it just doesn't feel. I mean, it's on a computer, so. And then the thing I didn't like about digital painting is that you don't have an actual painting. You just have that digital painting. You can get a physical painting, but it'll be a print. And you'll never have the real actual painting that the artist did, which I think is a real shame. Because You can do some really good work in digital, but it's not the actual painting, it's a computer painting. And I may go back to that again, you know, later on and do some more digital work, but for now, I really like having the actual painting. Okay, gonna go in a little bit darker here. And keep going toward all of this side, because all of this side of her face is kind of in shade. This whole part of her figure, actually, it's in a light shade, and this is all the way I just decided that this is going to be, because this is not really done from a real model. I just did this, and I just choose my shaded areas, and I work from there. And like I said, if I wanted to go really far into this painting, I could, if I wanted to add a background or do a lot of other stuff to it. But for now, it's just basically a simple portrait that I did. And I think I'm going to leave it like that, and I'll just... yeah, I think I'll just leave the painting like that. But thanks for watching, and I hope you like this video. Please subscribe and give it a thumbs up, and I'll see you soon. Thanks a lot. Bye-bye.